welcome back. This is All Things Psych. I am your friend, the psychologist, and I'm back with another video. This one I am particularly excited to bring to you because it is an update on my Eppp experience. In this video, I want to touch briefly on three things that you should keep in mind for your test day. One, what to expect when checking in at the testing center. Two, what to expect when taking the exam itself. And three, what happens next, pretty much after you hit submit on your exam. So, point one, you want to make sure that you bring 2 forms of ID with you to the testing center. That way they can just make a copy of your driver's license and then just verify your identification through an alternate form of ID. The other thing that you want to keep in mind and just kind of be prepared for is apparently just, again, we're still dealing with COVID-19, and so apparently a few testing centers have rescheduled candidates. Fortunately, that was not the case with me, but when word spread that this was unfortunately happening to other candidates, I made sure that I called my testing center about 3 to 4 days prior to my test date to just confirm with them that I was still scheduled to test on Friday the 22nd, and to just confirm that we were on the same page as far as obviously the day that I'm scheduled to test and the time that I was scheduled to test. So I did that, and it was smooth sailing. There was no issue with my test date was mixed up or the time was incorrect. So just a little tip, you may want to contact the testing center, especially again with us dealing with COVID. You want to contact your testing center in advance to just ensure that you're good to go for your test date. In an ideal world, you should receive an email if you are unfortunately rescheduled. But apparently, some people, were rescheduled without their knowledge, and that created a lot of issues for them, understandably. So, another thing that you want to keep in mind is that the testing center itself, they generate an email, Pearson VUE. They send you an email outlining the registration instructions, and of course they include the address of your testing location and a few key things to keep in mind. So one thing you want to ensure is that you arrive at least 30 minutes before you are scheduled to test. So I was scheduled for 8 a.m. on Friday. That of course means that I needed to arrive at 7:30. So the reason that is the case is because you have to go through the check-in procedure. Now, when you arrive to your testing center, keep this in mind that you are not only one of many people that are likely testing on that day. Also, there are other candidates that are testing for different exams. So I remember the first time that I sat for the Eppp, I've taken it, this would have been my 3rd time. Luckily I passed. But the first time that I took the Eppp, I arrived and I noticed that several of the other candidates that were there to sit for a test, they were nursing students, just overhearing small talk, side conversations. Over half of them knew each other. So when you arrive to your testing center, you may notice that there are nursing students that are there to test for their exams, and just various individuals there for their own reasons. So that's the reason why you want to arrive at least 30 minutes early, because you're not the only one coming in to test on your particular day and time. So you want to give the test proctors enough time to get you checked in and situated. So you arrive 30 minutes early. Once you arrive to your testing center, you check in with the first not test proctor, but they're more so the admin there. They'll take the phone calls, and they'll make sure that your paperwork is straight. So when you first arrive, you check in with the, I would say, admin, and hand them your license. They verify that you are there for the correct test and on the correct day and at the correct time. And they will hand you a laminated sheet of the test instructions, and they pretty much encourage you to read over that sheet. So from there, you take a seat in this nice little lobby area that is socially distanced. And basically, the handout that you receive goes over the testing and procedure. It briefly touches on the fact that, if your test doesn't have scheduled breaks, then you do realize that once you get up to leave the testing area, that the time is still running on your actual test. It also goes over restrictions of certain attire that you are prohibited from wearing into the testing area, and just little things like that, so on and so forth. So while you are waiting, more than likely the admin is checking in other candidates, and when your name is called, you make your way over to the admin, and what they will do is begin the check-in process, the official check-in process. That's where you show both forms of ID that you have with you, and once that is again verified, they will have you, I believe what we did next was you include your signature on acknowledging the test terms and testing procedure. And then from there, the next thing that you will do is have your palm scanned. And I laugh because, I was already nervous. It's 8 o'clock in the morning, and I'm nervous. So my mind wasn't completely focused on making sure that my palm was placed on this device so that it could scan it properly. So it was a little bit of a struggle. And it is funny enough, the admin asked, she's like, are you nervous? Are you gonna be okay? I'm like, I'm a little jittery, but I think I should be fine. So I was definitely I guess visibly nervous and anxious about the test. And yeah, so what you do is after you have your palm scanned, what occurs next is that the admin will hand you a key that is numbered. That number key attaches to a locker, and you are instructed to place all of your personal belongings into that assigned locker and power down your phone. So, and at that point, if you have any hair ties or a head wrap on that exceeds the restricted length or width, they'll ask you to remove it. And funny enough, I had a headband on that day. However, the thought was in the back of my mind that I'm like, they more than likely are going to ask me to remove this. And if you think about it, it's understandable. They don't want you to have your ears concealed. They would suspect that maybe you have a Bluetooth device in or something like that. So if you tested for any standardized exam, like the GRE, they pretty much go through the same process and give you the same procedure. So yeah, so after you check in with the admin and you're handed the key to your locker and you place your belongings into your locker, you then mosey your way on along to the test proctor. So the test proctor is a few feet down the hall, and what they will do is verify that you have, again, no Bluetooth device attached to your body anywhere, and that you understand the testing procedures. They verify the test that you are scheduled to take, and they verify, again, your identity. And you are required to rescan your palm. So Again, just kind of a quick pointer, no headbands. Try to, I would say, not dress in layers. So I had a hoodie on, and the test proctor just asked me to shake the hood of my hoodie and to verify with them that I did not have anything in my pockets of my hoodie. My pants that I wore that day, they did not have pockets on them, so that was fine. So I would just say this, maybe if you can just kind of avoid dressing in layers, that just may make the check-in process a little less nerve-wracking for you. But if you just want to err on the side of caution by dressing in layers so that you're comfortable, um, you should be fine. Because like I said, I had on a hoodie. They didn't ask me to take it off. They just asked me to just verify that there was nothing concealed there. So they will ask you to do that. They will ask you to roll up your pants legs to verify that you have nothing concealed there. They'll have you, I think, shake your pants legs to verify that there's nothing concealed or hidden. And that's pretty much their check-in process. And then again, like I said, from there, they verify your identity and the test that you're scheduled to take. And at that point, they will review with you any scheduled breaks that you have for your particular exam. So with the EPP, you do not have scheduled breaks, but you are allowed to take breaks. So what that means is that if you need to just kind of decompress for a moment, or just take like just stand up and just walk or just stand, you would just kind of motion to the test proctor, and they will allow you to leave the testing room, but the time on your clock is still ticking. So that's something to keep in mind. So apparently with other exams, they have scheduled breaks included, and I guess when those candidates take their exam and they come on their scheduled break, the test stops. But that is not the case with the EPP. If you take a break, the test time is still running. So just keep that in mind. So yeah, so after you check in with the proctor, they direct you to an assigned seat. The seats, of course, are spaced apart. Each computer station is spaced apart for the COVID regulations. At your particular seat, there are, I believe, 2 sets of headphones. One is just noise canceling. The other one is just a pair of headphones, so that apparently for some of these tests there may just be just audio attached to it. So that's what I'm assuming that second pair is for. But yeah, so you have the 2 pair of headphones, and also the test proctor will provide you with one laminated sheet of paper with a dry erase marker, and you are not allowed to write anything on that laminated paper until the time on your test begins. If you need more, you just motion to the test proctor, and they will provide you with another piece of laminated paper and take the one that you're currently using. So that may be helpful for some people who, you're writing down some mnemonics or quick notes on one piece of paper and thinking that you can hold on to that. You can't. You need to give the one that you've already used to the test proctor and start with just pretty much a fresh new one, which is kind of counterintuitive. It's just like, okay, so if I'm going to do that, I might as well just erase what I have on this one, but whatever. So yeah, again, you're placed in your assigned seat, nice little cubicle with your noise canceling headphones, and the test proctor actually, they verify again your ID to your name that displays on the computer along with the exam that you're taking. And once that's verified, they hit start for you, and from there, you begin the exam. So that leads to point 2. So the exam itself, for one, if you're watching this video, I'm pretty sure you already know the test length of the EPP and how much time you're afforded. But if you don't, obviously I'm going to give you that information now. So the Eppp consists of 225 questions, all multiple choice, and you are allotted 4 hours and 15 minutes for the exam. Now, as you are navigating through the exam, you have the option to flag questions. So, what that states or what that says is that you can just leave a marker on that question so that if you need to come back to it, you have the ability to do so. You are also given the ability to strike through answer choices. That's helpful for just narrowing down, obviously, answer choices. So you can strike through, you can highlight. You have a highlight function, and I believe there's also a function where you can jot down notes. You can write comments. Yeah, you can write comments on a test question. So you have those capabilities. You can, of course, backtrack, so you can navigate forward and backwards on the test if you need to. So you have that. And I think that's pretty much the main features. Oh, there is a timer, so you can see your timer at the top, top right hand corner, I believe. And again, you can navigate back and forth. So in addition to that, just some things to keep in mind. Obviously, I can't discuss any actual test questions, but just some pointers to keep in mind is that if you, in your preparation for the Eppp, if you are using a testing company like AATBS, that's what I used, or PrepJet, I think it's another one. The Taylor method, I believe, is another one. So I'm familiar with AATBS, and their practice questions are more in depth.
Hey everyone. So unfortunately, I ran into some technical issues during editing, but of course, I wanted to wrap up the video. So the third point that I wanted to get into is what happens after you've completed the test. So once you are finished with testing, you will then motion the test proctor to log you out of your computer. From there, the test proctor will go through again the process of verifying your identification and the test that you are scheduled to take. And the purpose behind them doing this one final check is to verify whether you receive your score immediately after testing or if you have to wait for it to be emailed to you. Now, of course, I've taken the Eppp before, so I already knew that I would receive my test score immediately after testing. So, nevertheless, I let her do her job basically and go through the process of verifying that information. So, once she verified that, I went up to the front to see the admin, and just a quick tip that if you receive one sheet of paper, that means that you passed. Uh, if you receive two sheets, that means that unfortunately you would have to retest. Now, the reason behind this is that that second sheet of paper actually lists each of the domains that appear on the Eppp, and it shows you how well you did in each domain, just to give you a little bit of a guidance in what areas you want to really work on and dedicate more studying towards moving forward. So yeah, of course I received a printout of only one sheet of paper, so I passed. The test is behind me. I've uh, crossed this milestone, and I am completely relieved. I feel very accomplished, and yeah, I am just glad and that it's all over and done with. So that is all I have for you today, and just stay tuned, and I will have another video for you shortly. Thank you.